What's going on, guys? Today we're gonna jump over one of the biggest hurdles everyone has in the kitchen. I'm gonna show you how to get chicken breast right every time with a few tricks along the way. Come on. Tip number one, you wanna temper your chicken breast. And all that means is you wanna take it out of the fridge about 20, 30 minutes before you start cooking it, just so it gets to room temperature. You don't wanna cook it cold because it's gonna cook unevenly, right? So now we're just gonna get it down and we're gonna trim off some of the fat. All right, now we got our chicken breast here. I'm just gonna get some of the fat trimmed up. Anything that you don't wanna look at or eat later. And this is optional, you know, but I just like to look and see anything anything you don't wanna eat, this is the time to remove it, all right? It looks good. Now, since we're here, tip number two, I'm gonna score it, right? And this is gonna do two things for us. And you don't wanna go too deep, all right? Just gonna turn into the hashtag, all right? This is gonna do two things for us. A, we're gonna be able to get our seasonings down into the meat. It's gonna give us some nice texture once we get it seared off. Go ahead and season it up. But I'm gonna get it back on the plate. All right, so we're just gonna drop some oil here, just a little bit, just as our binder. All right, so we're gonna hit the backside with some salt, some freshly cracked black pepper. These are your kitchen besties, by the way. Here with a little bit of garlic powder. I like to sneak in just a touch of chili. I'm just gonna pat that in. Give her a flip. I'm just gonna repeat this process. Again, salt. Complete your kitchen besties. Some garlic powder. And right behind it with some chili. All right, and this you wanna get into those crevices. All right, and everything on the side, you wanna get your sides. Nothing goes to waste. All right, you see that tip right there? Nothing goes to waste. That's why I waited to season on the plate and not the cutting board. All right, now you're gonna let that sit and let that marinate, let the salt penetrate, and now you're gonna preheat your oven to 425. All right, now we got a good preheated pan, medium high heat. Gonna drop some olive oil in. And remember, cooking anything, you wanna lay it away from you to prevent any oil from splashing your way, all right? And you're just gonna press it down just slightly to get maximum contact with the pan. That's the sound you wanna hear. I call it a thunderous applause. That's the sound you wanna keep that heat in the pan. And you're just gonna let this sit, develop that crust, and we're gonna flip it. All right, and once you see that crust starting to form, you wanna give it a nice, gentle flip, and look at that. Can't tell me that's not the sexiest chicken breast you ever seen. Immediately after that, we're gonna go on with some chicken stock. We're gonna just about half, that was about a cup. We're gonna go in with some thyme. Crushed up a garlic clove in there. I'm just gonna scrape the bottom of this pan just slightly, just gonna deglaze all that fond down there. And that brings me to our next tip. We're working on our pan sauce right now. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer this into the oven. Off with the heat, your oven's preheated at 425. Before doing that, I'm gonna insert a thermometer, right into the center, just so I can keep an eye on it. And this is super nice because I can just set to the temperature I need. And I need this to let me know when it's about 155. Let's go 155. All right, I'm gonna turn my temp on. That way we know when to pull it and when to let it rest. So while that's in the oven, let's talk about why we're cooking it this way. You can obviously cook it 100% on the stove, but that trips a lot of people up because your heat can be too high. It can stand there too long. You don't know when to flip it, right? So the oven is the safest place for any type of meat, right? Because we can monitor it, especially if you have a thermometer. Guys, get a thermometer, right? Now, I can say that's gonna take about 10, 12 minutes. You cook 1,000 chicken breasts, right? But if you haven't, get a thermometer, right? If you don't have one that can go in the oven like I showed you, get a regular one, get a pin. So that way you'll start checking the temperature after maybe 10, 15 minutes go by. You just take it out and start checking the temperature. You want to bring it out at 155. 155 because we want it to get to 165, right? That's where we have to get it to. A lot of people forget you got to let chicken breast rest. You got to let any meat for that matter rest, but chicken breast especially because it can overcook, right? And dry chicken breast isn't, no one wants that, right? So back to the point, you want to get a good hard sear on it, and then you want to deglaze with your stock. That way it comes up halfway up. That way while it's cooking in the stock. It's absorbing that liquid, right? So if it absorbs the liquid, it has nowhere else to go, right? And that is going to get us a juicy chicken breast every time, right? So, and that's our timer. Come on. All right, and the first thing we want to do with some clean tongs is get this out, get this on the plate, and we're going to let that rest while we work on the sauce. All right, so while your chicken breast is resting, just tint that with some foil. And I did not remove the thermometer. Really important. Do not remove the thermometer because you're just going to let out all those juices, right? We want to let it rest so it can relax and absorb all those juices. But meantime, we're going to crank the heat on medium high because we're going to get all this reduced. You want to get it to a high boil just like this, right? And we're just going to concentrate all that flavor and reduce this down by half. And remember, this pan is hot, so keep a towel on that handle. Never forget that. All right, so we're gonna finish off with some lemon. Quick tip, you always roll your lemon. Always roll it before you juice it. Now, in some recipes, you don't need half the lemon, right? So what you're gonna do, you're just gonna take a cheek off. Take your cheek off. You're gonna get massive amounts of juice in there if you rolled it right. And that way, I can just pop this. Now you got 4 cheeks, and once you get all the cheeks out, then you can cut it in half and use that, right? Let's go. All right, now we got it reduced down by half. I'm gonna turn the heat off. Just go ahead and mush this garlic because no garlic is safe around me, all right? And you wanna pack as much flavor as we need to in this pan sauce, all right? And you can see how much this has reduced. And the amount of flavor that's in here is ridiculous. We're going with our lemon cheek. Doing it this way, you don't have to worry about dirty in this hand catching seeds, right? Am I the only one that hates that? We're off the heat. Heat is off. I'm using electric, so I'm just hovering my pan. If you're using gas, you're perfectly fine. Then we're gonna get our cold butter. I'm just gonna add a knob of butter at a time. I'm just gonna swirl that in and make that emulsify, and that's what's gonna get a good nice sheen on this sauce and give it a nice body and really bring it all together for us. And once that's almost gone, add in another one, because why not, right? And you just wanna keep it moving. You do not want it to sit because it will separate on you. You wanna keep that butter moving. And you can see how much thicker the sauce is getting already. That looks about good to me. Last thing, most important tip ever, always taste your food. Taste and adjust. That to me is perfect. And you can see the consistency we're looking for. The amount of flavor that we've extracted from a simple chicken breast and a few ingredients is ridiculous. Let's get a little bowl here, little strainer. And we're gonna go ahead and get this strained. Get all of it in there. Every last drop. No waste. And if you think I'm not coming back for this, you're crazy. 2 seconds. There we go. Rubber spatula for the win. No waste. We don't waste anything. Back to my wooden spoon. I'm gonna smash all that in. All that garlic, all that thyme in there. We want to extract every ounce of flavor that we can. And all that there, and we're just gonna scrape that in. And this, what we're left with, the amount of flavor we've developed from 3 ingredients is ridiculous. I almost forgot another tip for you guys. See how thick this is? Let's thin it out. The best way to thin it out is with our resting juices. If you thought we couldn't add more flavor, you're sadly mistaken. If you thought it was amazing before, come on, guys. Trust me. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, I'm not understanding what's taking so long. This is amazing. All right, now let's get to it. Can't tell me that is not one of the sexiest chicken breasts you've ever seen. And you can see from us scoring it, we get all this extra texture. And it gives us a better presentation. However you slice it, you can serve this full. That is not a boring chicken breast, right? I'm gonna go right down the middle here. Look at that. That is how you take chicken breast to the next level. And let's get a slice here. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's amazing. Look at this, guys. Every time. All right, guys. That's how we do it, right? Take a simple chicken breast, garlic, thyme, chicken stock, and you can make something way above the level everyone else was doing it, right? We made a pan sauce. We didn't need anything else, no flour, no cream, 2 tablespoons of butter, a lemon cheek, and the resting juices in our deglazed pan, right? This is how we start to elevate your weeknight dinners, your meal preps, everything like this. Can you imagine a huge batch of this? And you don't have to use this just for your chicken. I've drizzled that over some Brussels sprouts, over some carrots, rice. It's endless. This is ready for a perfect side, a regular weeknight family dinner, you know? But the difference is the technique in which we're cooking the chicken breast, right? You're not standing over the stove. Oh man, is it ready? Is it ready? Chuck it in the oven, use a thermometer. You're gonna bring it out 100% of the time. All right, guys, I'm out. If you like the video, make sure you subscribe, man. It really helps me out. I appreciate all the support, and I do read all of the comments. I may not respond to all of them, but I love you guys. Appreciate you, man, and let me know if you want to see some more. What's for dinner? Flavor!